3 habits that will change your life forever. Let me tell you something right now. Your life can change in a moment, and that moment is the one when you finally decide you're done living below what you're capable of. The day you decide to raise your standard is the day everything begins to shift. I want you to think about something. Every one of us has dreams, we have goals, but most people never live them because they don't turn those dreams into daily habits. Your destiny is shaped not by what you do once in a while, but by what you do every single day. So today, I want to talk about 3 habits that will absolutely change your life forever. Not someday, not maybe. If you live these, if you commit to them, they will shift the direction of your future. The first habit is simple, but it's the foundation of everything. Master your state. Everything you experience in life, every decision you make, every action you take is driven by the emotional state you're in. When you're confident, you act boldly. When you're tired or fearful, you hesitate. The problem is most people let the world decide their state. They let traffic, their boss, the weather, or a phone notification control how they feel. But you and I both know that's not power. Power is when you decide how you feel regardless of what's happening around you. You can change your state in an instant. I don't care how long you've been stuck. Your brain and your body are like a switchboard. You control the switches. There are 2 main ways to change your state. The first is through your body. Your body is the fastest path to your emotions. If you sit slumped over, breathe shallow, stare at the floor, you're going to feel small. If you stand tall, breathe deeply, move with energy, your body sends a completely different signal to your mind. The second is focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. Most people focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what they can't control. No wonder they feel miserable. But the moment you focus on what you're grateful for, on what you can influence, your whole emotional climate changes. Make this a daily ritual. Every morning before the world gets to you, take control of your state. Breathe deeply, move, think about what you're thankful for, visualize the person you're becoming. If you start every day in a beautiful state, your life will take on a beautiful direction. Now, the second habit that will change your life forever is to feed your mind daily. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't plant the seeds you want, weeds are going to grow automatically. Every day the world throws garbage at you, negativity, fear, distraction, doubt. If you don't consciously feed your mind with something powerful, that garbage becomes your reality. You wouldn't skip feeding your body for a week, would you? So why would you skip feeding your mind? Read something that inspires you every day. Listen to people who lift you higher. Watch or attend events that remind you of what's possible. Because here's the truth, the quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thoughts. I remember when I was starting out, I didn't have money, I didn't have connections, but I had hunger. I read hundreds of books. I listened to audio programs everywhere I went. I trained my mind to see opportunity instead of limitation. And that decision, to feed my mind instead of letting the world feed it for me, changed everything. You've got to decide what kind of thoughts deserve space in your head. Your mind is sacred real estate. Don't let fear rent a room there. Start small. 10 pages a day of something that expands you. 10 minutes of an empowering podcast. Over time, it will rewire the way you think, and when you change your thinking, you change your entire life. But there's another part to this. You have to guard your mind just as much as you feed it. Be careful who and what you allow to influence you. If you hang around 5 negative people, you'll be the 6th. If you surround yourself with 5 people who are growing, you'll rise too. Remember, this environment is stronger than willpower. So build an environment that demands the best from you, not one that allows your worst. Now let's go to the third habit. This one has the power to fill your life with meaning beyond achievement, beyond success. The third habit is to give more than you expect to receive. The secret to living is giving. When you live only for yourself, life feels small. When you live to serve, life becomes limitless. Every day, the happiest people on this planet are not the ones who have the most. They're the ones who give the most. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about giving your energy, your time, your attention, your love. Give someone encouragement when they doubt themselves. Give a stranger a smile. Give your team appreciation. When you give without keeping score, you step into abundance. Contribution is what reminds us that life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'll give more when I have more. No. Start where you are. If you can't give money, give your presence. If you can't give time, give a kind word. There's always something to give. Here's what's wild. When you make giving a habit, you start feeling richer immediately Because gratitude and generosity live in the same space. You can't feel scarcity while you're giving. Think about this. Every day, ask yourself, who can I help today? Whose life can I make better? When that question becomes a daily habit, you'll experience joy and fulfillment like never before. Let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I met a man who had built a huge company. He had everything, money, status, success, but he was miserable. He said, Tony, I've achieved all my goals, but I still feel empty. I asked him, when was the last time you gave something that didn't benefit you? He paused, he thought, and he said, it's been a long time. That day he made a shift. He started mentoring kids who didn't have role models. Within weeks, his energy changed. Within months, his life changed. Because fulfillment never comes from what you get. It comes from what you give. And that brings me back full circle. Habit 1, master your state. Habit 2, feed your mind. Habit 3, give more than you expect to receive. These 3 habits will transform every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your happiness, your sense of purpose. But remember this, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution is where transformation happens. It's not enough to know these habits. You have to live them until they become part of who you are. So how do you start? Start small, but start now. Decide that from today forward, you will take responsibility for your state. You will guard and feed your mind. You will contribute something every single day. You do that for 30 days straight, and you'll feel momentum building. You'll start attracting opportunities instead of chasing them. You'll notice people responding differently because your energy has shifted. You'll begin to experience what real freedom feels like, freedom from fear, from doubt, from limitation. This is what living an extraordinary life is about. It's not about being perfect, it's about being progressive. It's about waking up every day and saying, today I'm going to be just a little bit better than I was yesterday. When you stack enough of those days, they turn into a destiny. When you look at the most successful, fulfilled people in the world, they all have one thing in common. They've made certain habits automatic. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's rhythm. They have trained their minds and bodies to operate at a higher standard every single day. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. That's why this matters. That's why mastering your state, feeding your mind, and giving more than you expect are not just ideas. They are your foundation for an extraordinary life. Now let's go deeper, because I want you to own these habits emotionally, not just intellectually. When you master your state, you take back control of your internal world. Think about it. If you can control how you feel, you can control how you act. If you can control how you act, you can change any result in your life. So mastering your state isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. There will be days when things don't go your way, when the deal falls through, when someone betrays you, when the world throws chaos at you. That's when your training shows up. That's when you choose your state instead of reacting to the storm. Because storms don't last, but the strength you build from facing them does. If you wait for life to be easy to feel good, you'll wait forever. If you decide to feel good first, no matter what, then life starts working in your favor. You and I both know this. Success without emotional mastery feels empty. You can have everything on the outside and still feel like something's missing. But when you live in a beautiful state consistently, your external world starts to reflect that beauty back to you. So ask yourself, what emotions do you want to live in daily? Confidence, gratitude, joy, love. Make those emotions your home. Don't visit them occasionally, live there. Now, let's talk about feeding your mind. We live in the most distracted time in human history. Our attention is under siege. Every notification, every headline, every post is fighting for your focus, and focus is life. Whatever you give your attention to grows. If you give your attention to fear, fear grows. If you give your attention to possibility, possibility grows. That's why feeding your mind intentionally isn't just a nice habit, it's survival. You've got to build a mental environment that strengthens you, not one that drains you. Read something every morning that expands your thinking. Learn something new every day, challenge your beliefs. Because when you stop learning, you start dying. Growth is what keeps the human spirit alive. You might say, Tony, I don't have time to read or study every day. My friend, you don't have time not to. The cost of staying the same is far higher than the effort it takes to grow. One idea, one insight, one new strategy could change your entire direction, but you'll never find it if your mind is malnourished. And when you feed your mind, you begin to believe in yourself again. You begin to remember that you are more than your past, more than your mistakes, more than your fears. Now let's come back to the third habit, giving more than you expect to receive. This is where the magic of life unfolds, because giving connects you to something bigger than yourself. When you give freely, you step into a flow of energy that always comes back to you multiplied. I've met people with nothing who are happier than billionaires. Why? Because they give. They find ways to make other people feel seen, valued, and loved. The truth is, you can't outgive life. The more you give, the more life gives you. And here's what's beautiful: giving transforms not just the receiver, but the giver. Every act of generosity tells your mind, I have enough. Every act of service tells your heart, I matter. When you live that way consistently, abundance stops being a goal, it becomes your natural state. So how do you make giving a habit? Simple. Every day, do one thing that adds value to someone else's life. Send a message of appreciation, share your knowledge, offer your help without being asked. The moment you focus on serving, your energy changes, stress fades, fear dissolves, because you can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. Now, here's something powerful I've learned. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in a decade. These 3 habits, if you live them consistently, will create compound results beyond your imagination. Mastering your state every day will give you the emotional strength to handle anything. Feeding your mind daily will keep you growing and expanding. Giving more than you expect will fill your heart and attract opportunities that only generosity can bring. And here's the real beauty. These habits don't just change your life, they change the lives of everyone around you. Because when you live in a beautiful state, when you grow, when you give, you become a ripple of transformation in the world. Think about the kind of impact that has. Imagine a world where more people mastered their emotions instead of reacting in anger. Imagine a world where more people fed their minds with love and knowledge instead of fear and gossip. Imagine a world where giving wasn't rare but normal. That world starts with you. It starts with one decision. Right now, in this moment, you can decide who you are going to be moving forward. You can decide that today is the line in the sand, the day you stop living on autopilot and start living intentionally. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of, but you have the power to build it one habit at a time. So decide. Decide that you will master your state. Decide that you will feed your mind daily. Decide that you will live to give, and don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There is only this moment, and what you do with it. The decisions you make in the next 24 hours could determine the next 10 years of your life. That's how powerful you are. So here's what I want you to do after this talk. Take out a piece of paper tonight and write down the 3 habits. 1, I master my state every day. 2, I feed my mind every day. 3, I give more than I expect to receive. Put that paper somewhere you'll see it every morning. Let it remind you of who you're becoming. Then take one simple action on each habit every single day. For your state, move your body, breathe, get into gratitude. For your mind, read, listen, learn something that strengthens you. For giving, do one small act of contribution. You do that every day for the next 30 days. And I promise you, you won't even recognize yourself at the end. You'll walk differently. You'll speak differently. You'll attract different people and opportunities because your energy will be unshakable. And when that happens, don't stop, build momentum. Because success is built on momentum, not miracles. When you live these habits, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. There's a saying I love, the same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's not the circumstance that defines you, it's what you're made of. These habits make you unbreakable. So as you go forward, remember this truth: your past doesn't equal your future. It doesn't matter what's happened, what's failed, or who didn't believe in you. What matters is what you decide right now. Right now, you can choose to become the person who lives fully, who grows daily, and who gives generously. That's the formula for an extraordinary life. When you live in a powerful state, when you feed your mind with greatness, and when you give without limit, you create a life that feels meaningful, joyful, and free. And isn't that what we're all really after? To feel alive. To know that we're making a difference, to wake up every morning and know that we're growing into our best selves. You have everything you need inside you already. You just need to activate it. So take these 3 habits and live them. Don't let this be just another inspiring talk. Let this be your turning point. Today, right now, make the decision from this moment on, I will live as the creator of my life, not the victim of my circumstances. I will own my emotions. I will protect my mind. I will live to give. Do that, and one day, you'll look back on this moment as the day everything changed. Because this is the truth. Your life changes the moment you decide